Did anybody try to go after your father just for street cred or no?
Someone sucker punched him in chains, and I don't know how much time we have. Believe me, we can talk.
I'm good.
We could talk about this forever.
Some sucker punched him.
Yeah.
And what happened to the guy that did?
He got what he wanted. And here's what he wanted. Okay, he was a sick individual. This guy's name was Walter Johnson was his name. Walter Johnson, and he was from the Philadelphia area. He was a black gangbanger, and he was on the same floor, the tier with the D.C. blacks. The D.C. blacks are known throughout the federal system. A lot of them are Muslims.
D.C. blacks?
Yeah, known as the D.C. blacks. A lot of them are known throughout the federal system. Very popular, very large prison organization. A lot of them are Muslims. What they did was he was in with the D.C. blacks, and they began to pull his card. He was basically making statements that he was with the D.C. group, he was affiliated throughout the federal system, and they were now in the process of checking him out. And they were about to pull his card. So he wanted to get off that floor before they kill him. So who's the most notorious guy in the prison at that time is John Gotti. So for you to be moved to get a little bit of rec, okay, the only move, you get chained up and you move to a rec area, and then you get unchained in that rec area, and you're allowed to be with a certain amount of inmates at one time. This is later on. When my father first got there, he was in K dorm, which is deadlocked by yourself for several years, and you have to evolve to be able to even go into the yard. But you're not leaving Marion unless you sign that paper. Mm-hmm. So he wasn't never leaving Marion, but now he's evolved to D unit, D block, and then C block. A little bit more room you have there, a little bit more social. Other shot callers could be with you. While they were uncuffing him, Walter's already in the yard. He uncuffing, and he nails my father. He steals the punch. And they come right down, they dropped him immediately, and he got boated out of the prison immediately what he wanted. So he got his life saved.
Wow.
He got boated out because he knew the D.C. blacks were going to pull his card and they were going to kill him. And they boated him right out of it.
Did they ever kill him somewhere else or no?
No. He ended up in the hole, never came out, never hit population, got released from prison. This is a great story. Can't make this up. Got released from prison a couple of years later, and as soon as he gets out, he goes and gets himself a shotgun. Because it wouldn't be right. Gets a shotgun, and he's going to kill a girl that he believed testified against him. He jumps over a turnstile in the subway. A transit authority cop stops him. He pulls out the gun and kills the cop. And he ended up someplace else, I think in the system, I don't know where. And I'm not sure if he's even alive today.
But, what a story.
Yeah.
Walter Johnson.
And there were players in the Aryan Brotherhood, there were players in Lame that wanted to hit him. They couldn't get to him.
It's kind of like one of those things where it's like, hey, but I thought it would be more from the standpoint of, I'm the new tough guy. Let me tell you what I did. It wasn't for that. It was for a different reason.
He checked himself. That's the honorable way of checking yourself into the hole. You know when someone they call you a rat or they pull your card and they tell you, listen, you can go up there right now and knock on that door and check yourself into the hole because they want you removed from the compound or we're going to kill you.
Or they let you do that.
Well, we were in Raybrook. If a guy was no good, had bad paperwork, we would tell the guy, look, come here. Here's what you're going to do. Go get your stuff. Go up and knock on the CO's door and tell him to take you off the compound now. Otherwise, you're going to get taken.
Got it.
So he removed himself from the compound. So what he did was, this is Marion. Marion is just where the buck stops. This is where the most dangerous of the dangerous.
Is this the guy?
That's him. That's him right there. He's about 6'4", 6'5", 26 years old. Hitting a guy with cancer, 57 years old. He sucker punched him with cuffs on. And I got the actual report. Okay, we're doing a show on this, and we're going to publish all the reports and the eyewitness statements that were taken and whatnot.
Wow. And you don't know if he's alive or not. You don't know where he's at.
No, I don't know where he is today. But it's an interesting story. So by doing that, he saved his own life. The D.C. blacks couldn't get to him, and he got moved off the compound. He got moved someplace else, and that's it.
Wow.
You're going to think I'm crazy when I tell you this, but the last 13 and a half years, I've been working on my first fiction book to write, ever. Fiction book to write. And while I finished this book, a year ago, I got the strangest phone call about one of the characters in the book where the guy wanted to meet with me, and he read the book. And afterwards, it's like, wait a minute, am I the villain in the book? This is a story about a character named Asher, who is half Armenian, half Assyrian, whose father was involved in the Iranian Revolution, linked to Savak working with the Shah, that they escape and he gets recruited to a secret society. Well, when you go to the secret society, it's been around for a couple thousand years. They've developed some of the craziest leaders of all time. And they test you. There's unique tests that they have at the society where they test to see your emotional mental toughness. One of the tests that they have is very rigorous. It's purely mental. Of course, there's a physical one, but one is mental and emotional. If you're Armenian, if you're Syrian, if you're Persian, this is a book you're going to be reading and saying, holy moly, this is the kind of stuff you talk about in here? Yes. If you're somebody that's fascinated by history, this is a book for you. Characters. There's a technology that this society, secret society, builds where you go into a vault. I won't spoil it for you. When you go down, they have a technology where you get to sit down and watch and have a 3-4 hour conversation with Tupac. You can set up a debate between Karl Marx and Ayn Rand. Karl Marx is in the book, who wrote Communist Manifesto. Ayn Rand, who wrote Atlas Shrugged, is in the book. Marilyn Monroe explains the concept of seduction and sex in the book. When you read the book, it's about development of the next leaders in the world and how they do it and how they've been doing it for many years. And it's also about how to prevent the end of civilization and how this organization goes about doing it. So, I've never written a parenting book before, but if I ever wrote a parenting book, this is the closest thing to it because it's all mindset, a lot of crazy stories. Again, 13 and a half years. Trust me, I told myself I will not publish this book until I sell my insurance company and I'm fully disconnected from it, where it's no longer my responsibility 100%. When you read this, if you're a creative person, if you like fiction books, if you enjoyed Atlas Shrugged, or if you enjoy Divergent, if you like books like that, I think you're gonna enjoy reading this book. It's the creative side. Business books is very easy. Here's how you do it. Here's how this how it works. This is very creative. If you haven't placed the order yet, now you can order it on Simon & Schuster, Amazon. I'm gonna put the link up below somewhere here, maybe even in my profile. Go order the book and read it. I've never written a book where I can't wait to read your reviews to see what you think about this book. So I'm going on this wild journey and we have some plans with this book here. If you support the things that I work on, I would appreciate you going and reading the book, order the book on Amazon, and then post a review. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.